Guys, my yarn stash is out of control, officially. It has been for ages, but I have been very much putting off dealing with it because I know it's not going to be fun. I would really rather spend my time crocheting, but how can I crochet when all of my yarn is a knotted mess? I'm really hoping that I've cultivated enough of a safe space on this channel that you guys are not going to be too judgmental about this. I'm judging myself, so you don't need to judge me too. A lot of this yarn is a really tangled mess, and it has been for months, some of it probably over a year, and I haven't wanted to deal with it. I also just have too much. I have more yarn than I need, more yarn than I'll ever use, which is a result of a few things. First of all, obviously I make content about crochet as a job, so that kind of just comes along with accumulating yarn. There's quite a lot of yarn that I will buy and use for one video and then never touch again. That just gets thrown into these crates, hence why I end up with so many different yarns knotted together. Also, sometimes brands send me yarn, which I'm really grateful for, but it also just again adds to the pile. These days I'm much more mindful about the yarn that I buy. I only buy yarn if it's either for content or I have a specific project in mind. I used to just buy yarn because I liked the yarn and I wouldn't necessarily have anything in mind to make, and that's how you end up with yarn just sitting there for months, if not years, not being used because you never really had a plan for it. So like I said, this is going to be a judgment-free zone, guys. I'm not, seriously, if you're in the comments being mean to me, leave it out, okay? Because I'm sorting it out, all right? Also, what you guys can see right now, tip of the iceberg, okay? We're in a bad situation here. I have a loose plan. The first step, I think, is just to go through it all, figure out what's tangled and what isn't, and then out of what isn't tangled, do I want to keep or donate it? Like I said, I have too much yarn, so another goal of this, other than just organising, is to get rid of some. Obviously, I'm not just going to throw yarn away, so I may give some of it to my mum. I don't know if she'll want any, but I'll offer it to her. And I have some friends that crochet, so I might see if any of those want any of it, but I think the most likely thing is that it'll go to a charity shop. Then the other thing, which is the part I'm dreading the most, is going to be untangling. A lot of the, like, you can kind of see, oh no, it is actually a bit embarrassing. The thing is, like, this crate in particular, I think this is the worst one. I don't even keep this in my room. I very rarely look in this crate for yarn. I have my newer yarn or yarn that I'm currently using or have specific projects in mind for in my room, and then this yarn is just yarn that I haven't even looked at for months. I don't even know what's in here, but a lot of it is multiple different yarns tangled to each other. That all needs to be untangled and probably like wound up into cakes. So we've got a lot to do. I also just have like tools, like crafting tools. I have bags. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to show you everything that we have. There's unfinished whips in amongst all of this as well. It really is a giant mess, but we're going to get through it together. I'm being brave and vulnerable, okay, by sharing this with you. Let me just show you everything. First up is this box. Guys, look at this. As you can see, lots of yarn in here, and there is also my grand's old like knitting needle bag in there too, so there'll be loads of knitting needles in there. Then I have a variety of wool warehouse bags that just have random yarn in, random projects in. This one's just full of this Drops Paris cotton yarn, which I don't really like that much, so that might be one that we can donate. Then, like I said, this is the really bad crate. It's a big one too. To be honest, a lot of the yarn underneath in here is still like caked and quite organised from the last time I organised my yarn stash, which I think was in 2024. It's the top layer that's really bad. So that one, it might not be as bad as I'm thinking when we actually dig into it. Then I have the two crates that I actually keep in my bedroom. So this is more newer yarn or like yarn that's currently being used. It's not much tidier though. This is the first one. This pom-pom yarn is not usually in there, but I just chucked it in a couple of minutes ago because it was just on the floor in here. We've got a knitting needle sticking out the side. Brilliant. And then this one also is usually in my room. As you can see, this is looking less chaotic and tangled. A lot of what's in here is my grand's yarn that I inherited, and then few things that I've thrown on top. Then I just have these bags that have been under my desk for ages. There is some yarn in here. My yarn winder is in here. I have another bag like this one as well. So that's what we're dealing with. That's everything. I'm struggling to express to you like how much I don't want to deal with this, but it just simply has to be done. So we're going for it. Okay, today is the day and I'm not backing out now. Also, I was inspired to actually get on and do this and make a video out of it by Lenny's Crochet. I think her YouTube channel is just Eleni Jones, but I will link the video in the the description. She made a video a few weeks ago organising her yarn stash, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, I've just got to do it. So like I said, I'll link that video below if you want to go and watch it after this one. What is the best way to do this? Maybe if I just empty out one crate at a time and then like put things back into that crate for now. I can reorganize and like put things into categories later. That's not the most pressing issue. I'm going to start with this one because it feels like it'll be not that painful. The first thing on top is 3 skeins, I still don't know how to say it, of Big Twist yarn. This is my newest yarn. I actually bought this 2 days ago. So this is untangled and I will be keeping it. Then I have all of this blue yarn. Some of this is tangled. This is the yarn that I've been using for my granny square project, which, by the way, guys, if you didn't see on my Instagram story, I finally finished all of those granny squares. I now have all 49 done, ends weaved in and everything. So probably the next video after this one is going to be me assembling them. They'll either become a blanket or like a sweater or a cardigan, whatever feels right in the moment. I'll be assembling them into one of those things. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. But yes, so I have all of this yarn left over from that project. If you watched my crochet with me where I accidentally made 4 new mini squares that I didn't need to, and there's this one that ended up being spare as well. I guess I need to frog them. Okay, I'm gonna make a pile of things to frog. Then I also have in here these scarves that my gran had knit before she passed away. I obviously am not gonna get rid of these, but it's the kind of thing where I'm like, I don't know where to put it other than like with the yarn. So I will figure that out. I'm just going to put them to one side for now. Okay, so this is all my gran's yarn. So I'm obviously going to be keeping all of this. Sorry, it's quite hard to keep hold of it all. But it needs like tidying up, untangling and caking. So that's going to go in the to be untangled and caked pile. I'll think of a better name for that. Keep. It's going in the keep pile, okay? Actually, I just found this little bag that was my grand's, so I'm going to put all of the yarn that was hers in here for now. I will still untangle and like cake it up later, but it just keeps it separate for now. Okay, perfect. So everything else in here now is newer yarn. I have these 2, which I bought in November at the Yorkshire Yarn Fest, which I have a couple ideas for stuff that I want to knit, so they're being saved for that. So those are obviously being kept. Then in here, I've got some yarn that Stylecraft sent me. I've got this Horizon chunky yarn, which is gorgeous. And then this Bambino Dotty double knitting, which I did a centre pull for literally just for a TikTok. So now I've got that. Might just see if I can stuff it back in. They're not very elegant, but there we are. Gets the job done. What? This is really soft. This is 100% acrylic. It feels like a blend with cotton, to be honest. And this was also sent to me by Stylecraft, which is a bamboo and cotton blend that they do. I love these. I'm definitely going to keep this one. The issue that I have sometimes with these is that I end up with one skein, obviously. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'll do with that. These 2 are kind of maybes in terms of keeping, because off the top of my head, I don't know what I would do with them. So I could donate them, but I'm just going to put them in the pile of things that's like doesn't need to be dealt with in terms of detangling or caking. Then I have this little scrap of dark grey. This is the kind of thing which I think would maybe constitute a scrap pile for yarn that I could use for a scrap project, because that doesn't feel like it's worth donating, but I wouldn't keep it because I'm going to make a whole project with it. So I think this can go in a scrap pile. I've got too many piles and not enough space, but it's fine. Then a few weeks ago, I was at an event where they were doing a big craft project and they'd asked for yarn donations. They ended up with way more yarn than they needed, so I got some free yarn. So I have 2 balls of Stylecraft Bambino double knitting. Oh, this is Bambino Dotty double knitting. So to be fair, I could do something with these together. I don't know. Anyway, I've got these 2, which I do actually really like this colour, but again, I don't have a project in mind. This is the problem. And then these 2, I got a blue one of these as well, which must be in another crate. But this is Rico Creative Cotton Fleece DK, which is cotton, acrylic and wool. But these 2, and there was definitely a dark blue one as well. So we'll find that at some point. But those are all fine and those don't need to be dealt with. So this crate is now empty and I'm going to put those back in here because they don't need to be dealt with further. I might not keep all of them, but I will go through that again at the end. Now I can put these in a much more orderly fashion. Okay, fabulous. 1 crate done. That was arguably probably the easiest crate, but it is done. I am actually as well going to put these Stylecraft little mini skeins of cotton twist in here. That's that one done. Let's move on to the other one that I've been keeping in my bedroom, and then we'll get to the really messy ones later. Like I said, I just chucked this pom-pom yarn on the top. If you've watched my video where I tried this, you know how I feel about it. If not, I don't feel good about it. This is a prime example of me buying a yarn for a video and then never touching it again. Spoiler alert, I had to end up knitting with this yarn because I couldn't figure out how to crochet with it. And it is still on the knitting needle. I just chucked it on top of a crate and left it. So that's how I end up in these situations. Luckily, it's not tangled with anything else. And I think I'm going to donate this because I know I will never use it. So we can frog this knitting. Don't know that anyone will ever want this, but you never know. Okay, donate pile. This I also got free at that event the other week. I don't know what yarn it is. I don't know what brand it is. There's no label. But it's really fun colours, I think, like pink and teal. Again, I don't know what I would do with it, but I'm going to put it in that crate, previous crate for now, and I may donate it at the end. Then I have this Stylecraft yarn. I think 3 balls of this. To my credit, when I bought this, I did have a project in mind. I have just in the last couple of weeks started that project that I had in mind, but I'm using a different yarn. And I also changed quite a lot about the project, but it, like, in my head, it's the same project. This is 50% acrylic, 50% polyamide, Stylecraft Cashmere Feel Wondersoft Baby 4 Ply. These Stylecraft Wondersoft yarns are some of the softest yarns I've ever felt. But I bought these, I think, in like autumn, and I was thinking I was going to make that flower sweater more for winter. Whereas I'm making it now and I'm using cotton because it's like then I can wear it in summer. Nevertheless, I really, really, really love this yarn. I love this colour. I love how it feels. I'm not getting rid of it and I'm keeping it. By the way, I don't think I'm going to go through every single crate on camera like this, talking you through every decision. Because if I do that, this video will be so long. Whilst I've still got energy, we'll do it now. But later on in the process, it's probably just going to be me watching Netflix and begrudgingly going through it all. I also have this. I don't know why, but I feel like I had 2 balls of this. This is like I don't think it is mohair, but it's that kind of vibe. Very thin, fluffy kind of yarn. And I bought it planning to double it up with another yarn for a project. I don't even remember what project it was, but I tried to do it and it was just hell to work with. So I think I am actually going to donate this because every time I look at it, I just think, that was annoying. I've got this ball of Wendy Supreme Black DK yarn, which I'm going to keep because these things come in handy. I bought this because I needed a tiny bit of black for a project, but that's exactly why you always need, I think, a ball of black DK, because sometimes you just need it, whether you're like embroidering something or it comes in handy. 2 full balls of Softstreme Green cotton. I'm going to be keeping these. I love this cotton. I will absolutely get around to using this. This is actually the type of cotton that I'm using for the project I just mentioned, but I'm using a darker green. Now we have some chenille yarn. This is Aldi baby yarn. I'm definitely going to keep this because I will 100% use this next time I have the feeling of wanting to do amigurumi. It happens every now and again. This is another yarn that Stylecraft sent to me. I think this was also in that center pull video. This yarn is gorgeous, and I have, ever since I got it, I had it in the back of my mind that I want to make a beanie with it. So I'm going to keep this one because I have an idea for a project. The only thing is I'm not 100% sure this would be enough because it's a chunky yarn. There's only 100 grams, but I would buy more because, like, guys, look, it's obviously this cream, but it's got all these colors like running through it, and I think it's so pretty. So I'm definitely keeping that. Stylecraft Moorland Chunky. Here is some more of the Aldi chenille yarn. This one I've obviously used more of. I'm just going to wrap this end around it and put it in the keep crate. This is another chenille yarn that I got in Boys, which is a chain in the UK, but I don't think it's in the whole of the UK. Sometimes I tell people I buy yarn from Boys and they're like, where? I don't even know what the brand is. It just says Hello Love on it. But again, I'll keep this for some future amigurumi. When everything's gone through, I'm gonna like sort into categories of chenille, cotton, acrylic, all of that. But for now, that's too much. So this is more of the Stylecraft Wondersoft yarn, and this is the yarn that I was using for that blue cardigan. If you've watched some of my videos, you've probably seen me talk about it. That whip has been abandoned for quite a long time, but I may come back to it, so I am going to keep the yarn. Even if I don't ever go back to the project, I'll probably frog the yarn and then I'll be able to do something else with it. Oh, okay, this is the dark blue of that other yarn that I was on about, the cream and pink that I had earlier. Here's the dark blue. Here is some more Softstreme Green cotton. Definitely keeping that. Big fan. This is Women's Institute acrylic yarn, which I bought more of. My gran had some of this colour. I bought more of it to make a cardigan. I haven't finished the cardigan. I probably won't because I don't really like it, but that needs to be frogged. But you know what? That's not part of this video. I'm organising my yarn stash, not my whips. So then we have a lot of hobby cotton, which some of it is quite tangled. I kind of just hate when yarn gets to this point where you've used most of it. it's not easy or neat to store. Let me get all of this hobby cotton together. Okay, so this is all hobby cotton that I'm going to keep. And this is some more soft string green cotton that I'm going to keep as well. There's a little bit more Aldi chenille yarn. There is some chenille yarn that's actually caked up, so that's great. I'll probably keep most chenille yarn because I just, every now and again, I have like an amigurumi phase. I don't want to have to buy new chenille yarn when that happens, you know. Speaking of, if you watched my AI video, then you will probably recognize this. The head is missing. I don't know where the head is. I'm going to keep this because it's a souvenir of that video. That's my most viewed video ever. Hopefully we'll find the head somewhere along this journey. I don't know when this video will come out, but just to kind of update you guys, I have decided to stop doing a video every Saturday evening for a couple of reasons. Partly because I was starting to feel a little bit burnt out with it. It turns into a little bit of like a constant hamster wheel feeling of like, okay, I've got a video out and now I have 1 week to plan, film, edit, upload another one, and I just wasn't really enjoying it as much anymore because it felt like I was putting loads of pressure on myself every week. And because of that, I was rushing videos, I was posting videos that I wasn't completely happy with, and I wasn't able to do certain videos, even like this one where I thought that might take me more than a week. I just couldn't do it because in my head it was like, it has to be out on Saturday. There may start to be longer gaps between my videos, but my hope is that the videos will be longer and better quality as a result of me taking my time with them a little bit more. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. If it's not, sorry. I do apologize. Like, I'm sorry. It is what it is. I want to enjoy this and I want to have fun with this because I love making videos. And when I put those deadlines on myself all the time, I don't enjoy it anymore. It's not fun. That's just an update on that. Okay, this is like chunky or Aran black yarn. I'm not 100% sure whether these two are the same ball or not. Yeah, this is where we get into this tangle here. Let's see what we can do. Let me see if I can get this pink out. Okay, I got the pink out, so I'm just going to wind that into a little ball. It's just these black, like I have 2 balls of black. I don't know if they're the same ball that have been separated into one. I don't think they are. I think they're 2 separate ones. So the problem is figuring out which ball is which because they're tangled together. So I think my best course of action is to get all of these other yarns out of the black. Then I just have to figure out the black. I'm going to rejoin you when I've untangled this because it's taking a while. Okay, so obviously I stopped filming so that I could keep detangling, and I got all of those other yarns out of the black, and this is where I'm up to. So I've untangled and balled up all of that, and I still have this left. In that time, I've done nothing but detangling this. In that time, I've watched an 1.5 hour long documentary and still got all of this to detangle. It was more tangled than I anticipated. So far, it has all been one ball though. The documentary finished and I thought I should probably leave this for now. So what I'm going to do is just finish going through everything left in this crate, and I will keep detangling this like in my own time this evening because I've kind of gone off track. I really didn't realize how long I'd been spending on this until that documentary finished, and then I was like, oh, oops. So yeah, plan is to finish going through this crate and then I'll probably leave it for today because we're heading up to 4 hours now already that I've been doing this for. I started at like just after 1 and it's nearly 5. But that means we'll have gone through 2 crates, which is pretty good, and I'll come back and do some more tomorrow. I think I'm just going to focus on getting it all organised and detangled, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to keep and donate at the end because I think it's quite hard to make those decisions until I can see the full like breadth of what I've got. That was a weird way to put it, but you know what I mean. Still in this crate, we have this black chenille yarn. Got this Stylecraft Special Aran yarn in Midnight, which I'm pretty sure is what I'm using for my knitted jumper. So I definitely need to keep that. I've got this scrap ball of yarn. I've got this scrap of orange. I've got this scrap of chenille, which I will just wind up. And there's another one here. Then I have this pom-pom maker kit. So this needs to go in a new pile of like tools. Another little ball of chenille. Then there's some embroidery thread in here from my bracelet making phase where I got really into that for 2 weeks. I did get this far on one before I got bored of it. So, you know, not too bad. So I guess I should put these all in a separate pile as well. Here's an octopus I made, but the bottom opened up. I obviously didn't close it properly. I just need to re-sew that. Did I start like a whip pile, or is this the first kind of whip I'm coming across? Okay, new pile. Then I have, this is what I made in my freeform crochet video, which I evidently never did anything with. These are the types of things that I just end up having lying around. I'm like, oh, I don't want to get rid of that, but what do I do with it? Where does that go? Same with these. I also have in the bottom of here all of the swatches I made when I was learning all those difficult stitches. I did like the 11 most difficult stitches video. I've got all of those in here. And then loads of flowers that I made with no real purpose. I think I was in a crochet rut and I was like, I need to crochet something, but I have nothing in mind to crochet. I guess I need to create like somewhere to put these things that are like, they're not sentimental is a bit much, but like from videos that I don't want to get rid of. Same with the parrot. So that's going to be another pile. The flowers don't really fall into that category. They're just there. I'll put them there though. Okay, guys, that is that crate empty. So I can put some of these things like back in now. Like I said, I will continue with detangling this black yarn throughout my evening. That's going to be a fun project for me tonight. To be honest, I know I've spent ages on that black yarn, but I do feel like I've made a bit of good progress. These two crates are now organised. All the yarn in these crates is at least like in a neat ball. And I sorted out my grand's yarn into that bag as well so that I can detangle that at a later date. So when I come back to this tomorrow, I think we'll tackle these wool warehouse bags and this one, which I'm still very much avoiding. I think this has been a good first day. I have eased myself in a little bit. I will see you in about 2 seconds. Okay, it is the next day. I woke up this morning and I was like, why does my back hurt? Probably because I spent like 4 hours yesterday hunched over trying to untangle that yarn, which I did finish doing last night, by the way, as promised. I know this is a pretty big ball of yarn, but I can't believe that all of that tangled massive black yarn only came to this. Like, I was kind of convinced it was like 2 full balls of yarn tangled together, but evidently not. It was this. So anyway, at least that's done. Plan going into today is to try not to get as sidetracked by detangling something as I did yesterday, because I think, was it like an hour and a half I spent just on that during the afternoon and then more time in the evening. So today, if I come across like big tangled things, I'll put them to one side and just work on them like later on in the evening. I think I said I was going to start with the bags today, but I think that is kind of just me delaying the inevitable. The inevitable being this box. So I think I'm just going to go straight into this box. This is a big crate and you can kind of see the bottom layers don't look as bad. There's just a really bad bit here that we're going to have to deal with. So I think I'm just going to start with this, face my fears and just see what's in here. What's the worst that could happen? I am actually just going to grab the second crate that I sorted yesterday because there's still a lot of space in that one, so I can put things into that as I sort them. Okay, put that there. This one is fine. Maybe, if I can find the end. There she is. Just going to grab what's like obviously not tangled and can be easily dealt with first. Here is some Stylecraft Grace. I love this yarn and I've been trying to figure out what to do with it. This, I have so many balls of this lying around because I got this in like a 10 pack. I made a skirt with it and I hated it, but I have various balls of this lying around, I'm pretty sure. This is something that I think I might donate because I can't really see myself using it again. There's some more of that one that we just dealt with. Oh no. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I think this box is just a lot of like acrylic yarn, kind of like this, where it's half used. I don't even remember what I originally used it for. And I've like kept it, but there's no plan. And this is the stuff that gets really tangled. Exhibit A. That's stuffing. That needs to be properly detangled, but right now I'm just trying to separate it from this bigger tangle. How are there so many yarns involved in this tangle? Every time I think I've got it, there's more in there. How is this going so deep? What is it connected to? This is a new low for me, actually. There, it's wrapped around that. Okay, first yarn. Fully detached from the big tangle. Like I said, this needs to be properly detangled, so I'm going to deal with that later on instead of sitting here for the next hour and doing it. So new pile to be detangled later. Okay. I just don't know how these like long strands get out of the original ball and into all of this. That's what I don't understand. There's loads of it here. Where's all this come from? Oh, I thought I'd done it. Got loads of this. I did not know I had this much brown. Why do I have so much brown? Turtles. It's from making turtles, that's why. I do think chenille yarn is one of the easier yarns to untangle though, because it doesn't like stick to itself as much as other yarns, I find. Also, yesterday my Apple Watch thought I'd done so many more steps than I had because I was like winding like this. So I'm trying to keep this arm more still today. I definitely did not do 10,000 steps yesterday. Would have been great if I had, but I didn't. Okay, This is some cotton yarn. I don't even remember ever owning this, to be honest with you. It looks like it was at one point wound up into a cape. Oh, okay, that was an easy one. There's like stuffing in here as well, which whatever past me was thinking about just throwing that on top of this. Idiot, because now there's just like bits of stuffing in all the tangles. Why am I like this? It's always those quick decisions you make when you're feeling a bit lazy, and then later on you're like, why? If I'd have just put it back with the rest of the stuffing, then I wouldn't have to be dealing with this now. Learn from my mistakes, guys. I'm sure none of you are even making these mistakes in the first place, but this one is fine. This is Starcraft Extra Large Super Chunky. I think I'm going to donate this because I don't really love working with yarn this chunky, but I've got like a full good ball here that I think someone else will get good use out of. So, oh, here's the parrot head. This is still so funny to me. Oh my gosh, guys, this bunny, I made it. I made this. I searched for like a free amigurumi no-sew bunny pattern online. I was just feeling like doing amigurumi, and I thought, wouldn't it be sweet if I made this out of some of my grand's yarn? So I was like, I'll do it in red. And I made the most cursed looking bunny you've ever seen. I think perhaps doing the eyes and mouth in white was a mistake, because it does look like the kind of thing that would haunt a family for generations. What is that? This tangle here is so bad. Like, I just don't even know what's happened. It's at a point where I'm like, I can't find the ends of what I'm looking for. Just want to get this yellow out. Okay, that was a challenge, but we got the yellow free from this like yarn monster I've got going on here. This was going to be a Christmas stocking, and I was making this for, I'm pretty sure, Christmas 2024, but I lost yarn chicken. And this is somewhere in this box attached to this beige yarn, cream yarn, I don't know what colour it is. So I've got to find that. And then I think this is just going to go on my frog pile, because I'm never going to finish this. Okay, I found the end. So this is going on the frog pile. Again, this is something that definitely was caked and has now kind of lost its structure. I'm just trying to remind myself, like, every time I get a ball of yarn free from this mess, it's progress, but it just looks never ending. There's a bit more of this yarn here. I think, yeah, I made a bag with this, but I obviously had quite a bit left over. That needs to be detangled, so that can go on that pile. I might donate those ones when I come to making those decisions later. I can't actually fathom that it's this tangled, because I genuinely didn't even realize it was this bad until now. So I was just seeing like, oh, the very top layer is a bit tangled together. This is like all one. I only come in this box if I like need a very specific color. It's like, I rarely come in here looking for yarn. So that's why it's got to this point, because it's so easy for me to ignore. I just don't ever see it. And then the times when I look at it and I'm like, oh, I need to sort that, then I leave the room and I'm like, I don't think about it again. This yarn's just been like abandoned. I feel like a magician right now. What? Let me wind all that up. I use all my organisational skills and energy on other aspects of my life that are arguably more important, like work and just like general life admin. So then when it comes to this stuff, I've got nothing left in the tank. I was just thinking, like, I'm gonna have so much yarn that I didn't know I had after this though, which is exciting. And also another part, I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but another reason I'm like doing this is because I'm moving in summer. This all needs to be sorted and organised before then, but I'm like looking forward to moving and then being able to figure out a better storage solution for all of my yarn than these crates as well, because like long term this isn't ideal, but it's just what I'm working with at the moment. There's some circular knitting needles here with some knitting on. These were my grand circular needles, and I just did this to practice using circular needles when I first started knitting. I think it's connected to this, so I just need to get this out. There we go. Where there's a will, there's a way, guys. Right, I'll put this with my grand's yarn. This is my body, my choice tote bag that I made, and I spent so long on this whip, and then I just never made the straps. So that's great. The straps are so boring. And I don't love doing tapestry, to be honest with you. That project was pretty much entirely fueled by feminine rage rather than me enjoying it. Then once I got to the straps, I was just kind of like, This is some alpaca yarn. I made a beanie with this. And I think, yeah, there's some cream here as well. Those weren't tangled. Let's go. See, we're like starting to uncover some of the untangled stuff. This green, this needs to be detangled. 100%. Okay, that can go on the detangling pile. Oh, this whip like makes me nostalgic, because this was really early on in my crocheting journey. It's got little, you can't really see it, it's got little hearts, like mesh hearts. I never finished this and I don't really know why. I guess I just got bored. Bless me, I feel like that was one of the first things that I freehanded as well. That's like a real scrap. I'll make it into a little ball because I might come across more. Yeah, there's more of it here, so I'll just do that and put it to the side and then add to it. Let's see if I can get this out now. See, this one is an example of one that's hard to detangle because it's quite like fibery and all the little fibers stick to each other. Oh, that was a separate piece. Why have I got so many little pieces of this? That's a separate piece as well. What's going on with this yarn? I don't remember why it would be like that. And another separate piece. I'm going to put this one to one side because I think it's pretty likely that I'm going to find more short pieces of it. So I'll put this ball to one side so that I can just keep adding to it if that is the case. I feel stiff. Is this what 10 and 26 does to a woman? I guess so. I used to like really love sitting on the floor. I used to be an avid floor sitter. If I was with people and there wasn't enough seats, I'd just be like, oh, I'll sit on the floor, I don't care, I love it. I just can't hack it these days. Here's a bit of mosaic crochet. This was a pattern test, I'm pretty sure, for Crochet by Jessie ages ago. How cute is that? I was like winding this up and then I realised I was just pulling out the centre of this. Oops, I'll just pop that in the middle. Perfect. Let's try and get this one out because this one has been annoying me the whole time. Oh, again, really small bit. More scraps. This one's a problem. Okay, success. This is, I mean, it's still still like a huge knotted mess, but it's a smaller knotted mess than before. I'm coping massively, but just let me have it. This is obviously the start of some tapestry that I don't remember what it was going to be, but I'm going to frog it. Frogging tapestry is not very satisfying because you can only do like a couple of stitches at a time in each colour. Okay, so I'll see if I can get all of this white out of the tangled mess and then I'll do the teal, but I can now see like so much of the yarn underneath the big tangle which isn't tangled, which is like so exciting because then that's going to be so easy. And then we just have this crate, which is not as bad as this one by any means, and then the bags, and then after that it'll just be a case of reorganizing it in the crates. So I want to organize it like by fibre a little bit more, and obviously I'm making a pile of things that need to be detangled, which I'll probably just sit and work on tonight like I did last night with that black yarn. Okay, the teal actually took quite a while to get out. There wasn't much white, but I've done it, so that's the main thing. What I'm going to do is just take 5. I need to take some washing out of the washing machine. I'm going to get a drink, charge my phone up a little bit because obviously filming on it drains the battery quite a bit, and then I will come back and continue. My aim to like not accidentally get steps on my watch has not worked because when I sat down to do this I'm pretty sure I had between 5,000 and 6,000 steps, and I have not moved from being sat on this floor and I'm now over 8,000. Okay guys, I'm back. I've sorted out my washing, I've got a drink, I charged my phone up a little bit, I'm ready to go again. I feel honestly my energy is ebbing a little bit. I'm losing motivation slightly, but I think the good thing here is that I've made so much of a mess in starting this that I can't bring myself to leave it like this now, so I have to finish the job, if you see what I mean. We all know it's not getting finished today, but I am hopeful that this crate can be done. If after another like 2 hours it's not done, then I will leave it for today because I'm just sat here unwinding yarn, but like it's just a little bit tedious. Maybe it's just because it's so tedious that it like isn't energizing to do. But anyway, let's get this big chunky yarn out. This was an Aldi chunky yarn and I did make a beanie with some of it. I also had like a coral orange colour, so I made a beanie. I've never really worn it because it's so chunky that it looks silly. I think maybe I'll frog the beanie someday. I think, like I said earlier, I just don't really love working with yarn this chunky, so I don't know that I ever would reuse it even if I did frog it, but at least if I frogged it I could donate it, I suppose. There we go. I couldn't find an end. Oh, okay. I did find an end, but it was just of one really small bit. Now I need to find another end. There's another end. I was just messaging my friend though, and I was like, I do actually have more yarn than I thought I did. Definitely more yarn than I thought I did. So I'm going to try to get rid of a decent amount. I don't know how people regularly crochet with yarn this chunky though, because I just immediately get wrist pain. Okay, I did it. Amazing. Let's try and get, I'm guessing that's maybe connected to this, so let's try and get this chenille yarn out. I think chenille yarn is generally a bit easier. Oh, it's a long old job. Is this tangled in? No. Fabulous. Quick stretch. Let's do some more chenille, shall we? Oh, maybe it is worse than I thought. No, it's fine. I'm not going to get negative about it. Oh, an end. Sorry, I feel like I'm really far away now, but I just needed to like lean against something. Got it. I'm gonna go back to grabbing these like bigger balls and then just seeing if they're tangled into the bigger mess. I think that's a slightly more effective way of doing it. So then you kind of gradually get things out of this knot rather than like starting with the knot. I don't know if that makes any sense, but there you go. I'm surprised my phone hasn't run out of storage yet, I can't lie. I mean, touch wood, I hope it doesn't, but... Okay, I stopped filming for a little while because I just wanted to lock in, which I did. It probably doesn't look like I actually made that much progress, but I genuinely have. Like I've probably 6 or 7 things of yarn out of that knot. It's 4:30 now, so we've been at it for 3 hours. My absolute cut off for today is going to be 5:30. I've got my pile of things that I need to detangle later, so I will do that later on off camera. But in terms of sitting here and working on this big knot, I'm not going later than 5:30. So I know I said earlier, I was like, I'm not going to get sidetracked with detangling today, like I did yesterday. And you've probably been watching thinking, all you've been doing is detangling. What I meant is I'm not going to sit and detangle one ball of yarn from itself. I have to sit and detangle these from each other, if you see what I'm saying. Anything that I can get free from the other yarns, I'm putting aside to detangle later. And some of it, I'm just kind of detangling as part of getting it free from the knot, if that makes sense. And obviously not everything, as you can see, like this is where I'm putting everything that I'm separating. It's not all perfectly wound up, but it's separate from each other, and I'll deal with that properly later down the line. More chenille. I don't think this one is too tangled in. No, I was right. Let's see what else we can get out of here. This cotton. I'm going to have so much yarn that I can actually use now, which is great. And I am planning to do some kind of scrap yarn project at some point in 2026. And I'll have lots of yarn now ready for it that I won't have to untangle specifically to do the project. So my future self will be very grateful to current me. These two are 2 different yarns, and I've been trying to detangle them from each other for ages, and I realised I should just put these in the pile of things to detangle later. It's nearly 5 o'clock now. I'm going to try and get this fluffy yarn out. I don't think we're going to get through all of this by 5:30, but I'm going to get through as much as I can. This is getting donated for sure. I'm never using this again. Oh, here's a little reindeer I made. Cute. Oh, this one's quite tangled in. So confused. There's no end. This one green cotton yarn has been in every knot I've untangled today, I swear. Like, I don't know how. I need to get that out next, to be honest, because it's driving me mad. Go away. I so far haven't had to actually cut any yarn though, so I'm quite impressed with myself with that. What I hate is when it's all just like twisted on itself. So irritating. I didn't realise how bad this one was when I picked it up. Okay, I finally got that one free from the rest of the knot, and I'll put it aside now to like finish detangling later. I wanted to try and get this green cotton out. Is it connected? Yeah, it's this one. It's been doing my head in all day. This is a really good visual representation of someone learning their lesson in real time, because I will never let this happen again. Never, because this has been a nightmare. Let's do this chenille. See, they're kind of just starting to come loose on their own because all of this is so much like looser now, which we love to see. Oh, I knew I had more of this. This like weird mohair one that I found yesterday. I will come back to this tomorrow. I don't know if I would spend as long doing this tomorrow as I have done today, because I would kind of like to start editing some of this footage and then like put another good shift in on Friday, I'm thinking. It's a good job I've got no life really, isn't it? Because I'd never have time to do this otherwise. I did just think I would take advantage of having like a free week and just finally get this done. Oh, I was going to get that like mohair one out. I'll do that next. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that was fine. Okay, fabulous. That's going on the donate pile. Look, we're racing through them now. It thinks I've done over 11,000 steps. I haven't moved from this position except for when I went and got the washing out of the washing machine. Oh, this was a cake of scrap yarn that I started making ages ago. Oh, more of that peach. 5 minutes to go. This crate is getting pretty full now. When I've managed to empty this one, I'll put yarn back into it, and then obviously we'll declutter everything at the end. Look at all this stuffing I've pulled out as well. Can't believe I'm exposing myself like this on the internet, but you know what? It is what it is. Someone's got to do it. If anything, I'm sure this will make all of you feel a lot better about your yarn stashes. Another little scrap. There's been quite a few little scraps of this colour. 2 minutes. What can I do in 2 minutes? Aldi roving yarn, I think. That one was pretty easy. 1 minute. Let's do the brown chenille that I suddenly noticed come out of nowhere. And it is 5:30. We've reached the cut-off point. Hallelujah. This is what we've got left of the really big tangle. As you can see, it's way better, and I can 100% get that done tomorrow. And then a lot of what's left in here isn't tangled at all, so that'll just be a case of just like tidying up how it's sat in the box. Good progress, guys. Nice pat on the back, and according to my watch, I've like run a marathon today, so that's brilliant. I was hoping to do this box today, but as always, I just overestimated what I could do in the time given. So like I said, probably won't do as much tomorrow. I will at least film some of it if I do though, and I will see you then. Okay guys, it is now Friday. My hair is still drying from washing it, so if you can tell, ignore it, thank you. I didn't film anything yesterday, mainly because I just needed to have a day where I didn't spend hours of it sat on this floor detangling yarn, you know, just for my own sanity. I did keep detangling some of the yarns that I had put to one side. I am still making my way through that pile, but other than that, I spent yesterday starting to edit this video that you're now watching. There's a lot of footage, like so much. So, you know, just finishing organising the yarn stash is going to be a project in itself, and then editing the video is going to be another whole thing, but that's fine. I've made a start. We will get there. I think this is going to be a pretty long video, so if you're still here and you're still watching, thank you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I think it's nearly 2 o'clock, so I think yet again I'm going to set a hard deadline of 5:30, so that gives us 3.5 hours to really get some stuff done. Definitely hoping to finish this crate and maybe move on to this one. That would be ideal. And then over the weekend, hopefully I can go through the bags, and then I can start having a more serious look at what I'm going to donate and reorganizing things into a more orderly fashion. Let's just say that. So I'll stop rambling now, because honestly, when I was editing yesterday, I was like, why did I talk so much? I did not need to talk this much, just on and on and on rambling. A lot of what you've seen, I cut quite a lot out. So if you were already thinking I was talking a lot, you have not seen the worst of it. Believe me, I was boring myself to death. Let's just keep going. Oh, I'm going to take my watch off, because the other day I ended up with like 15,000 steps, and all I actually did that whole day was go for like a 30-minute walk. I keep thinking my hair's sticking up, but it's the door handle. Okay, that's better. I'm intrigued that this is all of this colour that I have, because if you remember, I wound up that huge ball of the green of this, and I don't think I used that much more green than orange. Did I use the orange for something else too? I don't remember. Maybe I'll come across more of it. Back to our big knot. It is actually so much better though. Here is this Rico Essentials yarn. This is the thinnest yarn I own. This is the one I used when I tried to fillet crochet. I used a different shade though. This is the first yarn I ever bought. That actually makes me feel so sentimental. I made a scarf with this yarn. I think it's Stylecraft. It's not chunky, it's like the thicker one. Super chunky. Extra chunky, I don't know what they call it, but I'm definitely not getting rid of this because it has sentimental value. I think this is the yarn I used to make my dad a scarf for Christmas a couple of years ago. Some more yellow. Why do I have so much yellow? I don't remember buying all this yellow. Okay, that one was easy at least. Here's all those granny squares that I made too many of when I freehanded that top. So these are going to go in the frog pile. More of this pink yarn. Got a big thing of t-shirt yarn, which is connected to this. I was going to make this like iPad cover, but I found it so horrible to work with. I don't think I had a big enough hook really. And the wrist pain that I was getting whilst working on this was so insane. So I'm going to frog this and probably donate the yarn, because I really don't think I'll ever use it. More brown chenille. Can't get enough of the stuff apparently. Is this the Drops Paris cotton that I've got a bag of here? I think it is. Is it? Yeah, okay. I'll put that in here then, once I untangle it. Orange, this is the yarn that I used to make my first ever beanie. See, you can tell we're getting to the bottom of this crate now, because I'm getting to like all my first yarns. That's how old this all is. Oh, this one's really tangled in. Okay. Okay, I've just found this Hobby Portobello yarn, which I have quite a lot of, and I'm sure it's in one of these other bags. So I'm going to put this in one of the bags so that then I can keep that all together when I find the rest of it, because I have like enough of that to like crochet a jumper, I'm pretty sure. So I want to keep that all together so that I can use it all together for a project. Yeah, so like now I'm at the bottom of this box, there's quite a lot of things that are just already like caked up. This is how the tangled bit is looking. Look how much smaller it is. Very exciting. Okay, more of this teal. Why have I got so many little bits of this? I don't even remember ever really using it in the first place. That's what's confusing me. Look at that tiny little scrap. Ooh, this is the yarn from that amigurumi kit that I tried. I did not love this yarn. Nice sage green. And some more granny squares for the frog pile. What is this? Cotton. Oh, this is Lily Sugar and Cream. Okay, did not recognise it. 2 little cakes of this burgundy. Guys, we're so close to emptying this crate, and then I just need to untangle this, which I might just do later tonight off camera, because otherwise I'm just going to spend too much of my time now dealing with that. Got a little tiny scrap of this red chenille. We've got a little scrap of this lilac. We've got this really like thin chenille yarn. I'm pretty sure, I think this was my mum's actually. Got more brown chenille. This is a lighter brown. Got some more black. Another tiny little scrap. A little bit more of this sage green. This like, oh, this is a cotton scrap cake. And guys, it's empty. Yes. Oh, I can't believe I did it. In my free time. And now I'm just going to move this like top layer of yarn from this crate back into that one so that this one isn't overflowing. But we did it! And that one had a lot of scrap yarn in, which is great. When I organise everything properly at the end, I'll put all the scrap yarn together so that I know what I've got and what kind of project I can make. So I'm going to move this yarn into here and then we will move on to this one. What time is it? 10 to 3. So we've spent less than an hour on that, which is amazing. I just like turned to look at this one that we're going to do and I realised here's the rest of that orange yarn that I was just like, I'm sure I would have more of this. Found it. Okay, let's bring this here and see what we're working with. Immediately, we've just got like knitting needles sticking out everywhere, and that is because my grand's knitting needle bag is in here. So I'm gonna maybe fish all of those out first and just get them out the way. Oh yeah, how did I forget that about this orange yarn? Because I was using it, I like just cast on this bit of knitting literally just for a TikTok. This is what I mean though about these things. I just do this for a TikTok and then it just gets chucked back on top of a crate. Okay, that can get frogged then. It was worth it though, that TikTok did very well. This is some knitting that I think I did when I was at uni before I ever learned to crochet or learned to knit properly last year. This I would have done in like 2022. It's not very good. There's drop stitches and that was just me trying a hobby and not sticking to it as I tended to do a lot before I really found crochet. So let's get rid of that. I really do have plenty of knitting needles. I'm never going to run short of straight needles. The only problem is I much prefer knitting with circular needles, but there we are. Okay, so get them all in here. I think that is all the knitting needles. So I'll put that with her yarn over here and we will start dealing with this yarn. This is going to be a problem for me later on and not right now. That can go in the detangling pile. Okay, this yarn I bought and I love it so much that I've been like putting off using it because I want to figure out the perfect thing to use it for. But it's Knitcraft Country Folk chunky yarn from Hobbycraft and it's literally so stunning and I just need to figure out what to use it for, and obviously only have this one ball, so it has to be a small-ish project, I guess. This is Stylecraft Merry-Go-Round XL and I think I'm going to donate this because I just have no idea what I would use it for, so that can go on the donate pile. Also have this Stylecraft Knit Me Crochet Me double knitting yarn, which is gorgeous colours as well. I'm going to put that in the crate for now, but I might donate it again just because I'm not 100% sure what to do with it. This was obviously like a twisted hank. I don't know what they call it. I think it's a hank that I obviously undid but then never got further than that. I don't know how to re-twist it. So this is mohair and to be honest I'm just too scared to try and wind this into a cake without a yarn swift. I have done it with normal yarn that comes like this and it's so easy for it to go wrong and get really tangled, and I think with mohair the odds are just not in my favour, so I'm kind of just keeping this to one side until I own a yarn swift and then I've got better odds of not completely messing this up. So that's the situation with this yarn. It's so pretty though. These colours are unbelievable. Oh, I forgot about this hat. This is one of the only times in my crocheting career where not doing a gauge swatch has actually been a problem, because I was following a pattern for this bucket hat and it's absolutely adorable, right? But it's too small. Oh, actually, no, it is a bit too small. It's barely like staying on my head. It is adorable though. I just have quite tight tension and I didn't check. So this needs to be frogged. Oh guys, look, it's my filet crochet project. Is it raining outside? It is. It was so sunny yesterday. Yeah, it's a butterfly. Honestly, I feel like I need to just put this on a wall somewhere. Maybe I'll save it for when I move. And here's my first stockinette knitting swatch from my video where I learned to knit. At the time I was like, this is amazing, but now that I look at it, I can see where I like twisted some stitches. Here's some yellow cotton. I'm pretty sure this is soft string green cotton. Whoa, it's raining so hard. You won't be able to hear it because my mic won't pick it up, but it is really loud. Okay, this is more of the Stylecraft bamboo and cotton blend, which I just adore. I love this yarn. Some orange acrylic, some more black. Why do I have so much black like Aran weight yarn? I don't know why. This is going to be something that I detangle later. I'm pretty sure this is more of that alpaca yarn that we found the other day. The start of a couple projects in there. Oh no, I didn't think this crate was as bad as the other one. Why is there so much cotton connected to this? I think I started a tapestry down here. I think that's what's happened. Okay, guys, that took me so long. It was this, and these two that were like tangled up in that alpaca yarn. It took me so long to separate them from each other. I'd started some tapestry. I had to frog that, and then they were all tangled together, and it was an absolute nightmare. It's now 5 to 4. I'm gonna do a little bit more, and I'll probably... Actually, I might go and get a drink now because I'm really thirsty. Gonna have a 5-minute break and then I'll be back. Not that it'll make any difference to you watching, but... Okay, I'm back and we're gonna lock in and try and get through this crate before 5:30. It's just gone 4 now, so... First of all, fluffy yarn going in the donate pile, 100%. This is like a big granny square where I just kept making the granny square, but I only had one ball of the yarn, so I got to a point where I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. I think I was kind of thinking it could be a baby blanket, but obviously didn't have enough yarn, and I knew I didn't have enough yarn, but I think I don't know, I just did it. It is a really nice yarn and I think I could do something else with it. So I'm going to put it in the frog pile. This crate is worse than I thought it was, which is annoying because now I don't think we will get this done in the next hour and a half. But I'll get done what I get done and that's fine. Okay, guys, it is now 5:30. I'm sorry I didn't film anything for the last hour and a half. I was honestly just a bit annoyed because, you know when you think you're like through the worst of something and then you realise you very much aren't? Yeah, that's obviously what happened. I've managed to get quite a bit of yarn untangled from what's in here, but as you can see, there's still a good bit left and it just irritated me because I didn't actually think this crate was very tangled, and it turns out I actually think it's worse than that one was. It's just really bad. It's really bad. Okay. So I've still got some stuff from the other crate to untangle and some other yarns that I need to untangle as well. But I'm also just going to keep chipping away at this one off camera, like throughout my evening and probably tomorrow. The next time you see me on camera filming something, I think, will be when I go through the bags, because there is no point in me filming this. Like, there's nothing to talk about. I just need to sit and do it. Doing it on camera makes it feel like slower and more stressful, to be honest. So the next time you see me, this will be dealt with. It probably won't be till like Sunday. But yeah, that's my plan. I think that's the way I can best like keep my sanity. I should be in better spirits next time you see me because I will actually be done with all this horrifically tangled yarn. And I don't think anything in the bags is tangled. I'll see you then. Okay, it's now Sunday. I think I last filmed on Friday. I'm pretty sure. So what I've been doing since then is editing the footage that I've already filmed, which again, I've got so much, and more detangling. We've made good progress on the detangling. Okay, I am pleased because almost all of the yarns now that I need to detangle are just tangled with themselves. They're not tangled to other yarns, which is amazing. I've just got one bit left, which I think is only 2 separate yarns that are tangled together. Other than that, everything is separate. So I still have quite a bit that are just like individual balls of yarn that I need to untangle. But those big, horrible masses of yarn are pretty much dealt with, which is an unbelievably good feeling, I can't lie. So what I'm thinking, I'll fill you guys in on where I'm at with this process. The only thing left to go through are the bags, and that is what we're going to do now, because then I'll have gone through all of the yarn. In terms of the video, I'm thinking, because I have so much footage and as I'm editing it I'm like, this is going to be so long, I'm thinking that after I do these bags, this video will end there, and then I will do a part 2 where I make all of the decisions on what I'm keeping and donating, cake up whatever yarn needs to be caked up, and actually organise it into like sections of type of yarn. That's what I'm thinking, because otherwise this video is A, going to be probably nearly 2 hours long, and B, it won't come out for like probably at least another 2 weeks, because I've had this free week that I've been able to kind of dedicate to this. I can't continue to spend a considerable chunk of every day on this in order to get that video out really quickly. So I'm thinking doing a 2-parter is probably the best plan of attack here. So I hope that's okay with you guys. If it isn't, tough, because that's what's happening. You're already watching part 1, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss part 2. Cool. Let's go through these bags. Here is the first bag. It is a birthday gift bag. Quite a bit of what's in here I think is like tools, and I do have a tools pile from the other day. So I've got a few things that came in my crochet magazine subscription. These are double-ended crochet hooks. I actually might donate these because I will not use them because they don't have a handle on them. And then I have a cute Care Bears one. Then I have these Tom Daley kits that I tried on my channel. Both of these I did. One was embroidery and one was amigurumi. So I'm just going to keep these as they are because they definitely can be used again. Even if I wouldn't have enough yarn for another peach, the instructions and everything, I think I'm just going to keep them as they are so then I know where and what they are. More hooks. I'm going to donate these as well because I just would never use an all metal hook like that. Here's a little bit of stuffing. Don't know what that's from, but I'll put it with all the stuffing that I found in my yarn. And then we have some yarn and it's not tangled. Hallelujah. And these are some Crochet Society pins and then there's some look like blocking mats. Okay, James C. Brett is 100% pure DK cotton. This is one of my favourite cotton yarns, so I'm keeping that. And some more. I think this is left over from my tesserae top. Then I have this Starcraft special knit. I think this was, yeah, this is red pepper, which they brought out as, I think it was a limited edition shade, but then I'm pretty sure they decided to keep it permanently. Here is some Starcraft Aran, and this is definitely the yarn I'm using for my knitted jumper, so I need to keep that. I don't know why it's ended up in here. Here I have some big safety eyes. I have used some of these, so I'll keep those. I have some elastic, which I don't think I've ever used. I think I initially bought this to make scrunchies with, but I know if I ever make clothing that needs elastic, it will come in handy. Here is the darker shade of this thin yarn that I used for my filet crochet. Guys, I did a jigsaw months ago and I was fuming because I finished it and there was one piece missing. You're joking. And I looked in this bag for it as well numerous times because I thought I'd dropped it under my desk, and this was under my desk, and I did look. There she is. Mystery solved. Okay, and that is the first bag done in less than 10 minutes. Amazing. Let's hope they're all that easy. This is the other one that has been under my desk. I've got a Tunisian crochet hook, and I also have this Tunisian crochet hook set from Hobby because I ordered some yarn from Hobby a while ago now, and I spent enough money to get a free gift, and this is what I chose. So I'm going to keep this set and donate this individual one because I'm not going to need two 6mm Tunisian crochet hooks. And here is my yarn winder, which I guess we may be using in part 2 of this video to just neaten up some of my yarn. I have this cake of multicolored cotton. This was a pretty big cake that I actually used quite a bit of. Here is, I'm pretty sure this is more of this James C. Brett. Yeah. Also, I straightened my hair today because I was editing the footage from the other days and I was like, why did I not just straighten my hair? It looks not good, so sorry about that. But anyway, this is from the video where I learned to do Tunisian crochet. The swatch doesn't look great because I did multiple different stitches in one, but so this yarn is the Stylecraft Impressions yarn, I think I want to say, and I bought this ages ago and I think it's such a gorgeous yarn. You know when you like a yarn too much that you like can't get yourself to commit to a project? That's the issue that I have with this yarn. And I have a good amount of it. It's all caked up. I wound it all up into cake. So I have these 3 of like the blue, and this is the green shade, I'm pretty sure. And I think that's it. I've got the label in here as well. It's this yarn. I love it. So soft, so pretty. I just don't know what to do with it. It's 100% acrylic as well. It's so Stylecraft have like figured out how to make acrylic yarn really soft. They've got a lot of yarn that are 100% acrylic and don't feel like it. Then I have, and if you remember one of the other days, I found a ball of this Hobby Portobello yarn and I was like, I know I've got more of it. It's all in here. There's 2 there, 3, 4, and then I have some that's caked up as well, which I can't really, I think I might have just caked some up for a TikTok, but there's 2 more there. So I've got loads of that. Again, I just need to figure out what to do with it. That's why it's been sitting in this bag. And then this is my Grand's Tunisian crochet hook, so I'll put that with my Grand's stuff. Okay, bag number 2 is done. We are actually racing through this and I'm so relieved because I was just, on Friday obviously I started that crate that I thought wasn't going to be that bad, and then it was, and now I'm just like, everything I look in, I'm just really worried I'm going to find a huge tangled mess. I never want to detangle anything ever again in my entire life. I'm so over it. So over it. Right, so now I just have these 3 wool warehouse bags. Here's another one of the Hobby Portobello yarn. Oh, this is brown yarn from Hobbycraft that I remember I bought specifically to make some pumpkins, like for the stalks of the pumpkins. But the thing about that is stalks don't take much yarn, so I don't know why I bought 2 balls because now I've just got loads of this brown yarn. And more, I have so much of these pinks. Oh, and here's the one I was actually using for the filet crochet. This needs to be sorted, so I'll add that to my detangling pile. Oh, I actually did start something with that Portobello yarn. Didn't even know I had. This looks like I was doing a front panel. 100% that was gonna be a front panel for a jumper. Okay, cute. I don't really like it that much, so I'll probably frog it. Here is some more of this like camouflage yarn that I decided I was going to donate, so I'll put this on the donate pile, but obviously I will like make this neater and cake it up before I donate it. And this is another one of those yarns that I've had for ages and I'm desperate to use but have no ideas for. My friend Sophie actually got me this. Shout out Sophie. I don't think she'll be watching this, but I'm obsessed with it, but I don't know what to make. Another bag done, guys. We have one more, and then it's just the one that's full of that Drops Paris yarn, which I know I'm just going to donate, so we're so close. This one has like whips in it, not even whips, finished projects. Christmas stocking, one that I actually finished. Little Christmas ornament, little angel ornament. This one is actually really cute. Cutie patootie. Okay, two more. Oh, the label just ripped. Two more of these camouflage yarns. Here is another ball of the Starcraft Wonder Soft that I was using for that cardigan that's been abandoned. Another Christmassy ornament, a little Santa hat ornament, a little Christmas tree ornament. And then if you ever watched my video where I tried that vintage pattern, that was this. That's that bag. Guys, we're actually going to have gone through all these bags in like less than half an hour. I honestly sat down thinking I'd be here at least an hour. So this is all Drops Paris. Is my address on that? No. Drops Paris cotton yarn, which I'm just going to donate. So I can put that straight on the donate pile. We did it. We've gone through all of my yarn. If you are still here, thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with me and not being put off by my horrific messiness. I apologise that not everything is in this one video in true LauraGracee fashion. I totally underestimated the task at hand. Story of my life, okay? As I said, I'm sure none of you would ever let your yarn get like this anyway, but if there's any chance, just learn from my mistakes, okay? Trust me. This is like a prime example of doing the slightly more annoying 5-minute task in the moment will save you days in the long run. We have to fix it all, because if I had just every time been a bit more mindful about how I stored the yarn and how I put the yarn away, I wouldn't have had to have spent the last week of my life dealing with this. Like I said, it's Sunday now. It's Easter Sunday. Happy Easter. I hope you all had a lovely Easter if you celebrate. I'm going to spend this week now editing this video in the hope that I can get it out on Saturday. That's the aim. And also finishing off all my detangling in the meantime. And then after that, I will do all of the organising, all of that fun stuff. And that'll be probably the next video after this one. And then we'll get to those granny squares. I think that's the plan. But plans change, so don't bet on it. Just make sure you're subscribed. Thank you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.